All right, let's get started. This is an exciting time in healthcare for sure. AI in your practice. Artificial intelligence has been um, scary for some people. My job is to make sure it's not scary for you and you know exactly what you can do and how you can use it to be effective in your practice. Um, get this out of the way right away. AI is not replacing you as the provider, but it is going to make your life easier when done correctly. So here we go. This is me. Welcome at Secure Telehealth. If you don't know us, and if you haven't worked with us before, this is what we do. We have the mission to make healthcare tech knowledge accessible to everyone. So we're going to be doing more webinars and much more content online. So follow along. We've helped thousands of providers get set up and successfully run telehealth appointments. With that experience, we have been tasked with answering all types of questions about what tech works best in certain situations. Now, of course, all the focus is on AI. So, a couple examples in the past, we help them with their video conferencing setup, but they ask about webcams, or they ask about speakers, or they ask about telescope, or ways to listen through the computer to somebody's heartbeat or to get vital signs, or remote patient monitoring devices at home. And now, again, AI is the topic of the day, the year, the month. It's what everybody's talking about. So again, that's why we're here. This isn't going to be very long. I'm going to try to keep it fun. Um, One other thing about me is that I was a seventh and eighth grade teacher for 15 years. So it's fun for me to do these kinds of webinars and kind of pretend I'm teaching to the classroom again. So um, it might remind you of your seventh grade social studies teacher while you're here today, if based on what we do and how we go about learning. Um, I've been a part of way too many webinars that are just way too boring, and I don't want this to be that way. So keep it short and sweet and hopefully a little bit fun. What we learned today, telehealth and AI. Here's the overview. Understanding AI in healthcare and what AI means for your practice. Assessing your readiness. Are you ready to do some of these things in your practice? And practical steps to implement AI, implementing AI safely and effectively. And that includes what you're probably all here for, is what are people actually doing with artificial intelligence to help their practice. This is why we're here, though. This is out of control growth. And there's a million different ways to do AI in healthcare. And we've got to just find out what's best for you. It's growing 40% year over year and is expected to reach a $613 billion industry, just the AI part in healthcare, by 2034, less than 10 years. Don't miss out on this. It's going to give you competitive advantage over other providers. It's going to help make your life easier, and it's going to help patient outcomes are going to improve when artificial intelligence is done the right way. Plus, I heard a joke the other day, or maybe it was a meme online where it said, "Everybody get healthy now. Current med students are using AI to pass med school." And I laughed, and then you do one of these face palms, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it." Then I thought about it for a little bit, and this is kind of my approach as a teacher too. I was always looking to get my students the most up-to-date information. The textbooks that were 15 or 20 years old that we used in the seventh grade classroom had outdated information, and it wasn't, it just wasn't relevant for the time. So maybe, just maybe, using ChatGPT to pass med school is actually a good thing. I'll let you tell me how that goes because I'm not exactly sure. I'm a tech expert, not the medical provider, but let me know what you think about that comment. What is AI and what should it be used for? AI is a tool to make your life easier, will not replace you and should not replace you as the provider. Okay, now we all listen to that, we heard that, and we can breathe a little bit easier. AI is a tool. It augments, not replaces clinical decision making. Number two, key applications include virtual assistants. They're going to do or artificial intelligence can do some of the tedious, menial tasks that you don't like to do. And one of those could be note taking during your sessions, automated patient follow up and reminders, and diagnostics and risk scoring. So, what that means is if you're looking for a path of plan of treatment for a patient, you're looking for the right thing to do. And the artificial intelligence can say, well, this particular path has a 90% chance of working and has 15% chance of negative side effects. And another potential path has 80% chance of working, but only a 1% chance of potential side effects. It helps you make the decision that way. So scoring, evaluating the amount of risk that you could be taking when it comes to helping your patients. And patient engagement. This is a newer one. This is fun ways to connect with patients and keep them following your plan, whether your plan is, the coping mechanisms that they need to do as you're helping them with as a therapist over the week, prescription adherence, compliance, making sure they're taking their medicines every day. It's an exciting time to know how artificial intelligence can help you in your healthcare, and know that it's not going to replace you altogether. This is probably as scientific as we'll get, or as technical as we'll get. But the artificial intelligence is used for data analysis. Every patient is different, and your care will always be based on their personal needs. And you're the expert, and you're the last voice on what they need to get it better. But AI can work in the background by studying millions of patient cases and patterns, giving you extra insights to help guide treatment and improve the chances of better outcomes. So the analysis is there. So it's not just your own experiences from your years, but it's a combination of all of the data that everybody can share. And that's only going to help give better outcomes. And it's only going to help you as the provider. It's only going to help your clients get better, which is the ultimate goal, right? We want our clients to get better. And it would be nice if we can use AI to not make our lives as complicated in the process. Is your practice ready? I'm going to say yes. I believe it. I'm telling you, I think you're all ready for this. But there's a few things that we need to go over to make sure you're ready. What do you need to have in place to be successful? Steps to put in place. Secure storage. For a lot of the secure telehealth clients, the video conferencing session is just like we're doing now. We're talking. Nothing is recorded. So therefore, nothing needs to be saved as protected health information when you're done. And it helps a lot in maintaining compliance and showing that you are HIPAA compliant as a provider, because the PHI, there isn't any from the recording. But if you're saving AI summaries, if you're using AI to do the note taking for you, they must be secured as PHI in a HIPAA compliant way. Just like a few years ago when we started certain clients of ours recording the sessions, then we walk through how are you storing the recordings? What plans do you put in place to keep them HIPAA compliant? If you're confused about that, or you don't know if you're storing your data in a HIPAA compliant way, we have worked with plenty of other vendors and can happily help you do that, or at least, give you some advice and share what needs to be done. But I'm guessing the majority of people know that at this point, and are ready to do things the right way. Consented treat too. I think it's a great idea. If you're going to be using AI note taking, you're going to be using AI to do your insurance documentation. If you're going to be using AI at all, that the patients know about it. If you're doing it for data analysis, there's plenty of programs in place to keep the names out of the the health data that they're analyzing, but then that remains confidential. But patients do have the right to know if their information is being used in AI data. Um, yeah, I think it's just a good idea. Even if it's a social media post that was made in AI to let people know, or if there's an image that was made in AI. One of the images marketing for this webinar in the first place was made using an AI image generator. And there's a little note up in the top right corner that said it was made by, I think, ChatGPT. So I think it's a good idea if the patients know that they're being used. And it's a simple, in their intake forms, sign off on it. And yeah, just to make sure everybody's on the same page and okay with it. And lastly is training your staff. It's not enough just for you as the provider to know what to do and how to use the AI. Your staff needs to be trained as well, just so nothing falls through the cracks. Back at the beginning of 2025, I worked with a med spa in the Connecticut area as far as HIPAA compliance goes, because again, it started through the video conferencing connection. I helped them do that. And then the providers and their staff just had so many more questions. And I was able to help them with secure storage actually, because it was a lot of images, especially when it came to people's skin improvements. We helped with firewall things like that for their networks. So if all of this seems like like a different language to you, then of course please reach out and we'll be happy to help. But make sure that you and your staff are trained in the uses of AI. So practical steps to implement it right away. Start small. Test with some patients, again, that are willing to be a part of the test. I had a provider just this past month in September start using the AI companion that Zoom has for note-taking sessions. There are a couple other programs that do it as well, but and I said, why don't you do the first month or so with some of the patients and compare what the AI gives you as far as the session notes are to what you would do normally. So they continued to take notes as the session went on, compare that to AI, see what they like about it, see what they didn't like about it, and see what can get better. So monitor those outcomes and adjust. Are you liking the results? Like I just said, are you able to use them? And do the patients have clear expectations and paths to success as well? And 3, scale gradually. You don't have to jump all in on this. But it's time to get started. But move as fast as you are comfortable. Here we go. This is why we're all here, I'm sure. This is the good stuff. Ready to get started? These are areas where our clients, people that I've actually talked to and met with, are having great success implementing artificial intelligence. AI note taking I just mentioned. So imagine focusing on your patient, especially in the mental health space where that human connection is so important, being able to look at your patient the entire time, being able to actually see their mannerisms, see what they're doing with their hands, see what their face looks like, see if they're getting choked up, whatever. Focus on your patient and have the notes ready for you both when you're done. Summarizing next steps is such a great feature. It knows the AI can give you a list of the outcomes of that meeting, what was talked about, and in a example of a therapist or a psychiatrist, these are the steps you should do this week to come back better next week. Same thing with physical therapy or chiropractor, the things you're doing at home. Careful with this one though. We've had a couple good laughs. I remember one of the next steps I think was that our provider used this past month was watch the Yankees play in the playoffs. And I'm like, because that was just from the banter, you have a little bit of small talk with your patient. How's the weather? We were watching the Yankees play, all the sports doing. So next steps went from, something medical, something very important, watch the Yankees play, and back to medical thing at once, and just kind of cracked people up. Funny, I'm here in my home office outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we never get to watch the Pirates in the playoffs. But anyway, documentation for insurance purposes. AI can generate insurance-ready documentation. I didn't have time to share this link. Maybe I will afterwards to all the registered attendees. But I just saw it just this morning, an article about how insurance companies, the payers, are using artificial intelligence to go through all of their claims and flag the ones that need to be denied, which seems, I don't know, pretty crappy to me for lack of a better word. That means providers, with the help from people like me, need to use the artificial intelligence to make sure that the documentation is formatted in a way that it cannot get denied. So just something to be careful about. Insurance ready documentation, cross all your T's, dot all your I's, and make sure that you are not going to be stuck with, denied claims, because nobody wants that. We want our patients to get better, and we want them to get the help they deserve. Another newer one that a lot of people are trying out, conversational and AI chat. So you know that when you go onto a website and you have any questions, there's a link pops up at the bottom of the screen that says, um, chat with an AI agent, or can I get you to a real person, or what do you have questions about today? How can we help you? Et cetera, et cetera. So if it's a client coming on to a medical provider's website, the AI chat can even do a good job of determining if that client is just, they're okay, but they want to schedule an appointment in the future, they're just exploring, or if it's some sort of emergency that needs to be flagged and they can tell that person, you need to call 911 or you need to go to an emergency department. It's not going to be perfect, but it's better. But it's going to be pretty close, to be honest with you, and it's better than having nothing at all. So if that patient gets the urgent attention that they need at that moment, can save lives and make a big difference. So just another exciting feature of artificial intelligence that maybe people haven't thought of before. And another one is patient engagement. Artificial intelligence can evaluate the patient during the session, prompt them to stay on task even. Some of you work with kids, I'm sure, and there's all different kinds of tricks to make sure they're staying on task, whether it be a video call or in person. That happens to adults too. We all get distracted. We all get, especially if we're going through something that requires the medical attention that we're getting. So it prompts them to stay on task and can even flag high-risk behaviors. It can see things in the facial features. It can see things in their mannerisms that can say, hey, maybe that person is having some sort of emergency, or that person might be in need of something else. So again, flag the high-risk behavior, call 911, get to the emergency room if you need to. There's more. There's more coming. It seems like every single day. A couple weeks from now, I'll be out at a major health tech conference, learning about more things, and I'll be surely be able to come back and share with you what people are doing using artificial intelligence. But hopefully, these kinds of things don't scare anybody away. They make your life easier, better. They make your practice run more smoothly. Takes out some of the tedious things that we don't like doing, that we don't like having our staff doing, and makes everything go more smoothly. And again, at this point, if you're not doing it, you're the one being left out, which is kind of scary when you think about it. There's a competitive advantage too, surely, to the people that are using the technology the right way and not getting overwhelmed by too many problems. So, like I said, this is going to be short. This is going to be easy. It's going to give you the necessary first steps that you need to make sure to get involved with telehealth. We're going to be doing regular webinars like this one. Some will be paid, some will be free like this one was. Make sure you follow us online so you don't miss out on what's coming next. Next month, I'm going to put a plug in. First week in November, we're looking at patient engagement, scheduling, follow-up, how to keep your patients coming back and paying over and over and over again, and what you can do using telehealth and technology in between, the first session and the next session to make sure they're getting better and ready to come back to you again. And again, keep paying. Always, people always ask me, Dan, how can I learn more? Or can you help me further? The answer, of course, is yes. Check out these resources here. There's our phone number. Book a call with us, please. Email me directly, please. Easy Telemed, securetelehealth.com. Easy Telemed is what kind of how we're rebranding our HIPAA compliant Zoom connection with the best in the world tech support. I don't actually know if it's best in the world, but most of the time you call and I answer the phone, so I think it's the best in the world. And we have programs, informal and formal, where I'd love to just talk and give you advice here and there on what works best for you. Or if you're looking for a format, a playbook over the course of 5 weeks to grow your medical practice, to start doing telehealth or to do telehealth better, and just to make your life better by making more money and working less hours. There's a website there, my KIT website, where if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, please do. And you can also see all the blog posts and some available products there to help you grow and scale. So please, please, please check those out. There's even a QR code for a special one here. So thank you for coming. Again, our mission is to make healthcare tech accessible to everyone. Check your email for the links to the recording and for information about how to learn more, continue working with us. Thank you so very much. Booking a meeting with me is the one QR code. You can hold up your phone. Nobody can see you do it. And the other one is 10% off an AI session, ways to save 10 hours this week. So part of the larger 5-week program about building and scaling a practice is 1-week session on artificial intelligence. But for the people who registered for this webinar, there's 10% off, and you can choose the whole product or just that week for a lower price. So again, these products are kind of new. They're introductory rates. They're very, very inexpensive. The first group that's going through them right now is already finding ways to save money and increase revenue. They're getting way more value out of it than what they paid to get into it. And we just keep, every time a group goes through it, we make it better and better. And so get in now while it's still relatively inexpensive. And again, it's an exciting time. I look for your email. And that is it for today. Thank you all very much for being here. Please, 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 please give me feedback and let us know what you want to see in the future and what you want to learn about. That's all. Bye-bye. See you next time.